Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing just a fun vlog type video for today. In this one, I'm going to give my thoughts on the ups and downs of being a YouTuber. Alright, so I wanted to go ahead and do this one just kind of for fun and because I enjoy these types of videos myself personally. If I see other YouTubers doing this kind of stuff and just kind of giving their thoughts on what it is like to be a YouTuber. So this is a fun one to kind of go over, and namely because I feel like there's going to be a huge shift in the channel the next year or two. Like, things are really going to change with regards to the channel, and I'm kind of getting myself prepped and ready for it because really not sure what's going to happen this year with The Walking Dead Season 9. Really don't know, how things are going to go. And quite simply, if they do kill Rick off this season, we're going to have to see how the fan base responds to that. And so far, it's not looking very good from what I'm seeing online. Now, online does tend to be a more negative place than the real world, so we'll see. I'd like to continue on here for at least a few more years with doing this. If you guys don't know, I started YouTube, it's not quite a decade ago, but it's pretty much a decade considering how many videos, I've gone ahead and made. Pretty much past, between all the different channels that I've made now, 3,650 videos, which is the equivalent, 365 days in a year, to a video a day for a decade. Right now, obviously, it didn't quite work out that way because a lot of the videos are 2 or 3 in a day, and then some days I don't produce one for you guys. But that's pretty much, what it's looked like for me. So almost pretty much a decade on YouTube right now. And I've been an entrepreneur, I want to say, for probably about 12 or 13 years in my career. Always part-time. I've never gone full-time with entrepreneurship because it's a risky enterprise. It's tricky, and there's usually fluctuations a lot more than if you have kind of stable employment, which I do. I've been a Bachelor of Computer Science. I went to college for 3 years for computer networking, A+ certified, Network Plus certified, CCNA, all this different stuff. So I'm also a computer technician by day. Trev's Chance YouTuber by night. So that's what I do. And right now I'm just like, man, I'm glad. I'm glad I kept my job because it's like the age-old saying, it's like, don't quit your day job, right? It's like, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Anybody who said that, because it's true, because you just don't know, and as if you've ever done predictions on stuff, I've been doing predictions on the channel here for so many years. Some about, a fictional TV series, right, or comic book series, movies and whatnot, but even if you look at something like cryptocurrency, what's out with it this year and how poorly it's performed, considering how it was coming into the year, starting off at the end of December after last year. So your best predictions on what you think are going to happen in the future, it's like it's almost like you're BSing yourself, like you're bullshitting yourself to try to tell yourself, well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and I'm sure this is going to be fine, that's going to be fine, and then this will go this way. It's kind of like, you can't be so sure. And likewise, the other way around, I don't know how the audience is going to respond for The Walking Dead this next year, and I don't know, how things are going to go. Maybe it'll go the other way, and people will really enjoy, watching the videos that I produce here with you guys, and will enjoy hanging out and having fun and doing everything else. But who knows, right? I mean, that's the thing with it, is that you really just don't know, and that's the reason why I've always kind of tried to stay core and try to keep the day job there going, and then do YouTube, and the other stuff that I've done over the years. Like in college, I was an academic assistant, and I did private tutoring on the side when I was taking computer studies in college. So I did that for about 2 years, and that was, that's entrepreneurial, because you have to get your students, and you have to go, like I would go to their houses and help them with whatever subjects they wanted. I did a lot of work with a visually impaired student, fully blind student, and actually his last year he got straight A's when he was working with me a lot. So I did that, and before that I did newspapers when I was a teenager, which is pretty entrepreneurial as well too, because you have to do everything yourself. They drop them off, but then you have to deliver them and everything, and do your collections and stuff like that. You get tips and that kind of thing too, so it's a lot different than having like a regular job. But being a YouTuber is like, it's a form of entrepreneurship. That's what it is. It's a form of like straight entrepreneurship, where you have no idea really how things are going to go for you, and maybe some years you do pretty well, and other years it's like your thing's dying right now. I've been doing this for almost a decade now, so I've had years where I've done fine, and years where I've done horrible. But it seems like more recently, or what I've noticed happen in the last 5 or 6 years especially, is more and more people want to do it. So when I started, close to a decade ago here, on YouTube, it was not a cool thing to do. It was not a popular thing to do. My generation, YouTube's not really for my generation. I would say it's for the generations before, or the generations after mine that are still kind of in that age group that's kind of growing up, and they've basically grown up with some exposure to YouTube. So if YouTube started however many years ago it was now, when I got started around 2009ish, 2010ish, let's say. And then they were watching, and then as they kind of grew up, some of them started to open channels, right? So then you get a lot more people doing it, and people saying like, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to do this, right? And this is like a career type thing, and it's like, it's not a career, right? It's not a career by itself, in my opinion. It's on if you choose to be an entrepreneur. That's one of the things you could do as part of entrepreneurship. Similarly, if you started a website or, I don't know, a private service of some kind in your community, something online, whatever it is, being a YouTuber, I would put in that category as the greater category of entrepreneurship, and just like one particular section of that. But what a lot of people don't understand is they don't understand things like the Pareto distribution, or the concept of and the best way to kind of explain this is basically in mathematics, Pareto came up with the idea where you can it's kind of like, I would say it's used mostly as a rule of thumb nowadays, where you look at it and you say, okay, as far as the distribution goes, being a YouTuber or this kind of thing, or having a website, is a lot like being a musician or an artist or something like that, where your top 20% of the people that do it are going to get 80% of the results. So the top 20 are going to get 80, and the bottom 80 are going to get 20, right? So it's an offset. It's kind of like a way of thinking about it too, and it's very true with regards to people who become musicians and artists and this kind of thing, where it's probably even worse than that, where you'll have a certain top percentage, like the top maybe 5% of artists or musicians who really hit it big are going to probably sell as many records as the bottom 95%, right? And then the other 5% have to share, or the other 95% have to share the 5%, right? So it's like an offset, type of mentality that you can kind of think of it as, and it holds very true to websites and to YouTube or being an artist or these kind of things, where a lot of people will look at it, especially the kids that are coming up nowadays, and they're kind of looking at it saying like, well, I see this one channel where maybe it's a comedy channel or something that started around 2007 or something that's been going for a long time. And they say that person is doing great as a YouTuber, so I want to do that, right? It's like, whoa, wait a second. You just picked out like one of the people who are in like the top couple percentile and said how great they're doing, without realizing the concept of the Pareto distribution, that you literally just picked Eminem during the 2000s or the late 90s, you know what I mean? And compared, because he by himself, right, during that time, if anybody kind of grew up during that time as I did, would have probably sold as many records as 99% of the other, the people, or him by himself would have sold as much in being part of that top part of the distribution as, I don't know, let's say 70% or something of all the rest of the rappers in that industry at that time, right? Because the market just decided, I want him, right? I want that guy's music. I want that guy's records. He passes, and everybody knows, who he is, that kind of thing. And so everybody's into it. And yet there's all these other people who are doing the same thing, but yet they're not going to, because of the offset of the distribution and the way kind of capitalism works and the way these things kind of go with creative endeavors, it's going to just basically create all these other people that want to do it, and that's what we're seeing right now with YouTube quite a bit, where a lot of people are coming up. So if any of you guys were thinking about it, it's like, it's cool, maybe if you're really good at it, but you have to be really good, like better than me, because you have to be like insanely good at it because of all the other people that are coming up kind of nowadays, and how flooded the engine's kind of getting, same with websites after the .com bubble. The only websites you're going to see, pretty much that top website result is going to get what percentage is it? I heard some SEO stats, it's almost 50%. And then each one below that goes down 50 of that, 50 of that, 50 of that. So by the time you go down by 4 or 5, 6 or whatever, you're getting into the small percentages. So that whatever the top couple of results are, those are going to get let's say 87.5% or what have you, like the top 3, let's say, of the results there of that. So basically what you get is, and this is what happens on YouTube as well too, you get, and it's even worse on YouTube because you have subscribers and that kind of thing, and YouTube tends to recommend channels that are going to get more subscribers, so it bleeds off of itself, right? So it throttles certain people that are really, really good at it, like amazing at it, they're going to get pushed to the front, right? They're going to get pushed in all the recommend sections, everything like that. And yet there's going to be all these other people there that's like they're not going to be able to do quite as well because it doesn't really spread it around as much as it kind of used to. I want to say the way I've noticed the engine change in the last probably 8 or 9 years is that it's even more like this now, where you have certain people that are going to be able to do really good at it and have bigger audiences and have, let's say, millions of subscribers or whatever. They're going to get pushed to the top, so they're just going to grow even more. You know, they can go from like 1 million subs to a couple years later they got 5 million or whatever, and yet there's going to be all these other people that are like, you know, they're pretty much going to have to quit or not going to be able to continue, pretty much. So for me personally, I mean, you know, it's like, who knows what the hell's going to happen here with the channel in the next couple of years. But whatever it is, you know, I'm happy to do this as a hobby with you guys and continue to kind of do it as a hobby. Now, there's some things that come along with that. If you guys are enjoying the videos that I'm producing for you, if you're into the different things I'm into, then that's cool. If you're not, I hope you'll stick with me anyway. But basically, I want the show must go on. I want the show to go on. You know, and I'm happy that it pretty much got to this point right now where we're coming up to basically a decade. But, you know, in that decade, things change a lot, right? In the last 5 or 6 years, things change a lot. You know, people used to be really into Walking Dead. They used to love to kind of discuss and do this kind of thing. And nowadays it's like, not so much. Or maybe a little bit, but it's like, you know, it's just another TV show, right? And especially if they kill Rick off this year, it's going to be like, well, now it's really just another TV show because then you're going to lose that section. And then it's like, well, damn. So, but we'll see. You know, you can never go based on predictions. Like I said, you really just have no idea. And as sure as you think you are, you know, it's like, well, don't be so sure, right? So that's the thing, man. So this has been a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this with you guys. And I think going forward after this year, probably the next year, I'm going to continue to do it mostly as kind of a hobby and a side thing. And, you know, I'm not going to be able to commit anymore to being like, okay, I'm going to do a video every single day, 7 days a week. I don't think it makes sense either, right? Because what I've seen a lot recently as well too from you guys too is like if I'm posting videos every single day, it's kind of like, you know, it's like, it's okay, Trev, but you know, and so I take the hint. It's like, I get it. It's kind of like, you know, it's mid-range type of thing where it's like, okay, we appreciate it, but you know, it's okay too. So yeah, man, so that's pretty much what's been going on with me lately and what I'm kind of looking at in the future, where it's like, you know, I want to keep doing this and I think I'm going to be able to continue at least for sure as a hobby, but I don't know past that because just that's kind of the way things go. I got, you know, with the channel here, for example, I got 200,000 subscribers. It was like a few years ago now, 230,000 subs. And then the popularity of Walking Dead started to die down. So as I was doing more, you'd lose, like you'd gain, or for me, I gained about the same amount as I was losing. And then I think what happened is YouTube kind of figured out, like, okay, this channel is not really that popular anymore. It's not really growing that much anymore. So then they kind of stopped recommending it, and it moves you down in that Pareto distribution to where it's like, you know, you go into that other section where it's like you can keep doing your thing and that's great and it's fun, but it's not going to be, you know, that you're not going to be in that top 20 to the 80 anymore, just based on what the market wants. You know, if the market wants Spider-Man because everyone thinks he's actually dead, it's like the Marvel movie. It's like he's gonna come. Obviously, it's freaking Spider-Man. They're gonna leave him dead. Come on, don't bullshit me, right? But everyone gets into it, right? So it's like, oh, it's Spider. So that's the thing. That's what the market wants. So that's what you gotta do if you want to kind of get into that. And for me, it's like, I'm too busy, I got too much stuff to do, too many hours a week, because I can only do like, you know, 60 hours a week is pretty much my cutoff point at this point. I mean, I've gone to 70, I've done the 70-hour weeks, I've done some 80s, but it's like, you know, there's other, what happens is over time when you're doing that, things in your life start to kind of just destabilize. Like you don't get time to clean the house, you don't get time to stay organized, you kind of lose it a little bit, or all you think about is work. So, which, you know, is kind of what I do anyway, but you know, that's kind of the way things go. So, yeah, so just kind of a fun vlog video. I'm not really complaining in this video. Like this video is not a boohoo me session type of deal. It's more of like an understanding the way these things kind of work, and like, you know, it's definitely a fun thing to do, but to any of you guys that are out there now that think you might want to do it in, you know, in a few years or whatever, it's like, okay, you know, maybe you give it a try. But as I've always recommended to anybody who asks me, I've always said, do it as a side thing because you just don't know. And maybe if you're exceptionally good at it, like you're really funny and you can do, you know, comedy videos, prank videos or some shit like that. I don't know. Whatever the market wants, right? Maybe you're really good at gaming and you're really good at Minecraft and you can do like some crazy Minecraft stuff. It's like, okay, go ahead. But, you know, if not, it's like, I don't know. You know, you got to kind of test the waters and see how the market's going to respond to whatever it is. And this goes for entrepreneurship as a whole. You know, if there's lots of places up for rent in your town and they can't get tenants, it's probably not a good idea to buy a rental property, right? So it's just like, yeah, this is the way these things go. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think, and thanks for all your support over the years, guys. I do appreciate it. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and to anybody who's thinking about becoming one, or any of you guys who are YouTubers, many of you guys are YouTubers as well, too. I know I've got some subscribers who are YouTubers, maybe a few dozen. You guys go ahead and leave a comment below, and let me know what you think. What's your journey been like here on YouTube, and how do you kind of feel about it? You know, doing it. Is there anybody who's been doing it for a decade, who's past a decade and wants to leave a comment on, you know, kind of what that longer journey has been like? Because I can only speak to, you know, being here about eight or 9 years or whatever. But there's people who started before me and have been doing it for even longer. Difficult to keep coming up with stuff, right, over time, especially as things fade in and fade out. I remember back in the day, like some of the channels I looked at when I got started was like Transformers was the hot thing, right, with the Transformer movies. And now it's like, not really, you know what I mean? Not really. So, yeah, good stuff. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, guys. I'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.